Good morning, everyone. This is our report in SocSci.4. It's all about consumer behavior and the theory production under determinants of consumer behavior, theory of utility. So, determinants of consumer behavior. The determinants of consumer behavior can be grouped into three major captions, namely economic, physical, and sociological. An attempt is made to educate these with least complications. So, personal income, it is the earnings from your wages, investments, on other income that belongs on you or personally owned by yourself. So, family income is the income shared by people living in the same household. So, the income shared by the people you live with. So, economic determinants. Economic determinants is an economic scientist where the first among social scientists to study consumers and their behavior and provides the details about the solutions to the consumer and consumption problems. So number four is consumer liquid. Number three is consume income expectation. It is the future income expectation or the consumer that influences such as consumer behavior, and it is optimism or the pessimism about consumer income that determines the level of current spending. So consumer income expectation, it is the income expectation of a particular customer, and its expectation determines the level of current spending. So for example, its income expectation is 2,000 pesos. She should spend not more than 2,000 pesos. So number four is consumer liquid assets. Liquid assets of consumers are the assets held in the money or near money forms of investment. So this is the assets used to help in the money or gain money. So number five is the consumer credit, a facility extended by a market to postpone the payment of products bought to some future date. So this is a facility used to postpone a payment when you have the schedule already and you have no money. The level of standard of living. So the consumer behavior has the impact of the established standard of living to which he is accustomed. Even if consumer income goes down, the consumer spending will not come down proportionately because it is very difficult to come down from a established standard of living. So this is the standard living of each individuals and the consumers spend in every day. Psychological. Psychologists have also provided certain clues as to why a consumer behaves this way or that way. The major psychological determinants internal or to individual are motivation, perception, learning, attitude, and personality. So first is motivation. It is an intervening variable between stimulus and response and the governing force of consumer behavior. And the second one is perception. So perception leads to the thought and thought leads to action. Perception is the process whereby stimuli are received and interpreted by the individual and translated into a response in marketing management. So, product and brand perception. Brand perception drives brands to create advertisement for their products or services that wave in powerful motions. So, this perception drives brands to have a more powerful motions. The second one is price perception. It is a customer perception about what a customer should sacrifice in order to obtain products or services. So it is a perception of a customer on how he sacrificed to obtain products. So store perception. One of the commonly accepted formal definitions of retail store image. Perception or memory inputs that are attached to stores which represents what the store signifies to an individual. So it is a perception of a person and how he or she see the inputs of the store. So, perceived risk refers to the spirit cost associated with customers' purchasing behavior, which represents a kind of uncertainty about the future. This uncertainty will directly affect the consumer's purchase attention. So, it is a spirit in which individuals has the power to risk and sacrifice things even if you are sure about it.
Next is the learning. So it means any change in behavior which comes about as a result of experience. So learning is a process of acquiring knowledge. So if you acquire any knowledge, then it means that you are learning. Next is attitude. The concept of attitude occupies a central position in the consumer behavior studies, in particular on social psychology. So the attitude, it occupies the central position in the consumer behaviors. So if in the consumer behavior, in a consumer behavior study in a particular on social psychology, so it is important to have a proper attitude in dealing with the customer or the consumer. Next is the personality. So it refers to the capacity of a person for popularity, friendly, friendliness, and charisma. It also refers to the essential differences between one individual and another. So personality is a capacity of a person for popularity. So if you are popular or if you are friendly and you have the charisma, it means that you have a good personality to other person. So next is the sociological determinants. So sociological determinants, it explains the behavior of a group of individual and the way in which it affects conditions and individuals' behavior in marketing or purchase decisions. So group of individuals as determinants. Number one is family. So it links the individual with a wide society, and it is through this that the individual learns the rules appropriate to adult life. So in family, we it is the process, or it is a way in which we can learn from our rules that is appropriate to our adult life. So through family, we learn, and through them we learn to adapt any circumstances or any challenges in our life. So next is the nuclear family. So it is a two-generational family which consists a mother, father, and a children. Next is extended family. Spans at least three generations, which consist of a mother, father, children, grandparents, uncle, aunts, cousins, nephews, and other in-laws. So if you can see in the picture in the screen, it is a nuclear family versus extended family. So you can see that nuclear family is smaller, while the extended family, it has a bigger family members. The family impact on consumer buying behavior can be traced in two ways. So the first one is that the family influence on the individual personality characteristics, attitudes, and evaluative criteria. So as I said earlier, that family is the first one that will influence us. So we can influence our individual personality, our characteristics, attitudes, and evaluative criteria on our family. So next one is the family influence in the decision-making process involved in the purchases. So if the family what is the family's decision or the decision making process, then we will have the influence to that to do that decision making process too, because they are the first one that will influence us. The next one is the family rules of the members. So the first one is initiator, the person who senses the need for the purchase. The second is influencer, the person who provides input into the purchase behavior. And third, decider, the person who has the final say over the decision. And the fourth one is user, the person who is most directly involved in using the purchase. So this is the roles of the family members: the initiator, influencer, decider, and user. So there are 4 points in case of family purchase. The first one is who influences the buying. Next one is who does family buying, and the third one who makes the buying decision, and the fourth one is who uses the products. So these 4 points in family purchase, it influence one's individual. The second one is the reference group. Those groups which an individual identifies with, to the extent that these groups become a standard or norm which influences his behavior. So, letter A, the groups that serve as comparison points. The individual compares himself, his attitudes, behavior, and his performance with a group of members. So, for example, uh, if you have see other group of um, teenagers, then you can observe about their attitudes, their behavior. Then there is a chance, or there is a possibility that you will you will go to them, or you will get along to them, and their attitudes will influence you. The next one is the individual aspires to the member of such group and imitates the behavior of that group, including buying behavior. So the third one is, or letter C, groups whose social perspectives are assumed by the individual as a framework of reference for his actions. So those are the um, three reasons, or three reasons why reference group can influence us as an individual. Number three is opinion leaders, or influential, plays a key role in influencing the buying behavior of their followers. The fourth one is social class and caste. It is a division of society in which individuals or families sharing similar values, lifestyle, interests, and behavior. So, so as you can observe on the caste system in India, so you can see that if you belong on the Vaishyas, then your values, your lifestyle, your interests, and behavior should be aligned on the caste system, which is the Vaishyas. So, social class. determines by the income, authority, power, ownership, lifestyle, education, consumption, patterns, occupation, type, and place of residence. So the social class before they divide you or they can place you on that social class, they will first determine you by your income, your authority, your power, ownership, lifestyle, education, consumption patterns, occupation type, and place of residence.
Number five is the culture. It includes cognitive elements, beliefs, values and norms, science and non-normative behavior. So, utility theory. A term in economics that refers to a total satisfaction of benefit from consuming a good or service. Marginal utility. It, it is the satisfaction that a person receives from consuming an additional unit of the same goods or services. Example, if John is drinking his first glass of water and gets 10 units of satisfaction, the marginal utility he derives from the glass is 10 units. He then a second glass of water and gets 8 units of satisfaction. The marginal utility he deserves from a second glass is 8 units, and the third glass is 7 units. Total utility, the aggregate satisfaction a person receives from the consumption of all the units of the same good and services. Example, continuing with our example where John derived 10, 8, and 7 units of utility from the glasses of water, the total utility that John would derive is 10 plus 8 plus 7 equals 25 units. The law of admonishing the marginal utility. It states that the level of satisfaction for an individual diminishes as the same product increases. Eventually, the consumer either looks for an alternative or stop consuming the product. Example, Alan used to buy soft drinks in the store every day because it is his favorite drink to purchase after school. But suddenly, the price increases. That is why he purchased Pepsi instead of Coca-Cola for an alternative. Utility maximization means that a consumer will try to get the highest level of satisfaction for consuming something they paid for. For example, consumer affa- consum- consumer faces an option of two chocolate bars that both cost $1. However, they only have $1 to spend. One chocolate bar is the consumer's favorite, but they would like to try something new. Their utility is maximized when they choose the option which provides them greatest utility for the value paid. Limited income refers to the income situation of the statistical unit in relation to a specific low income line in a reference year. Statistical units with income that is below the low income line are considered to be in a low income. Example, Richard wishes to have a Ferrari car. However, his income just covers his basic needs of foods, clothing, shelter, and comparatively cheaper car. He has no budget for purchasing a car. In this case, limited income stops him from having the car that will satisfy him the most. A given set of price. Some individuals like some products or services more than others. However, they may opt for a substitute for a similar product due to the set of prices. Although they will get the maximum utility from consuming the high price good, they may not be living to pay the given set of prices, thus will look for alternatives. Example, many people like Coca-Cola, however, some decide to not buy them because of price increase. They opt to cheaper available alternatives to purchase products with lesser price. Budget constraints. Consumers' choice are subject to their budget constraints. Budgets refers to the total amount of money an individual is willing to spend, save, and borrow. Budget constraints can also be understood as limited income. Example, if Richard, the man who wants a Ferrari, excuse me, has limited savings and is not willing to borrow money, his budget constraints will restrain him from buying a luxury car. His budget constraints don't allow him to make the choice that would maximize his utility. Limited income. Another constraints consumers may face while making choices are the availability of time. Example, suppose an individual is willing to get the goods currently on sale. However, they could not go to the store to buy the goods on the same time for sale. They will not enjoy the maximum utility they would have gained if they purchased the good when the price was affordable for them. Okay, so this is all our report. I hope you learned something. I hope you gain something from this topic. Thank you and God bless.